Hello, grade 7. Welcome to our new unit, probability. Okay. In this video, you're going to learn and know the language of probability. Okay, so first, you need to learn the word event. Okay. So in the language of probability, something that could or has happened is called an event. Examples of these events are: a mother giving birth to a baby girl is an event. Getting a 6 when you throw a die is an event. Okay, so if you keep reading all the phrases below, they are all events. So another example will be you going to school. That's also an event. You being sick on Friday is an event. Um, the the talent show pushing through on Friday is also an event. So event is an important word to learn in probability. Okay, so the next one is we're going to look at all these events that I have given you and use the other words or vocabulary in probability. Okay, so the first two words that we're going to use or learn in probability are impossible and certain. So they are your extremes. Okay? For impossible, that means that the event is not ever going to happen. And then for certain, you are really, really sure that it's going to happen. And the values for it for impossible is 0 or 0%, whereas for certain is 1 or 100%. Okay, now remember that in probability, the lowest number that you can have or value that you can have in a probability is 0, and the highest is 1. Now, if you're using percentages, that means it's 0%, that's the lowest, and the highest is 100%. Okay. The word impossible is the description for when the value of probability is 0, and certain is when you describe an event when the probability is 1 or 100%. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other words that we have. Okay, so now most events that happen lie between these two, between the impossible and then the certain. And you can use the descriptions even chance, poor chance, or a good chance. These two, poor chance or a good chance, is another meaning for the words that we are really going to use in this unit. So I'm going to show you all this. Okay, so if we mean even chance, we're still going to use the description even chance. And the value of the probability is 1/2 in fraction, or 0.5 in decimal, or 50% in percentage. Okay, now between impossible and even chance is what you have poor chance. That means that the event is like you only have a few chance or very small chance of it happening. So you call it unlikely or poor chance. And so the value for that is between 0 and 1/2, or 0 between 0 and 50%, or 0 and between 0.5. On the other hand, the other one is likely. And when you mean likely, there's a good chance of it happening. So if I say on a Saturday, there's an unlikely chance of happening that you have classes, and even impossible, but we don't want to say impossible. Yeah. Okay. So if it's a Friday, it's likely that you have a class on Friday. So the probability of it happening is between 1/2 and 1, or 1/2 and 150 to 50%, or 0.5 to 1. and that we describe that as likely. So let's have all these events that we had before. Okay, so the event is, sorry, okay, the event is a mother giving birth to a baby girl. Okay, you know when someone gives birth, it's either a boy or a girl. So you have a 50-50 chance, 50% chance. So there is an even chance of it from happening. So in our line, it's in here because you only have two options. Yeah, it's either a boy or a girl, so it's 1/2. How about getting a 4 in this spinner? Because in this spinner, you have 3 4s and 1 5 and 1 6. Is it impossible to get a 4? Is it unlikely to get a 4? Or do you have an even chance? Or is it likely or for certain you're going to get a 4? Okay, so in here, because you have three fours, you can say in probability you have a 3 out of 5 chances of it happening. So it's likely to happen. There's a big chance. There's a good chance of it happening. Okay. On the same spinner, let's describe the probability of getting a 7. If you take a look at this spinner, you won't see the value 7. So if you spin it, you will never get a 7. So that means its probability is 0 or impossible. So I'm putting it at the end, at the left end of our line. This is impossible. It's never going to happen. How about leaves falling off the trees in autumn? Okay, what are the chances it's autumn? So the leaves are going to fall. So for certain, 100% leaves are going to fall. So we put certain or the value 100% here. Okay. Now, getting a 6 on a die. This is your die. And the values of your die are you have 1, you have a 2, you have a 3, you have a 4, you have a 5, and you have a 6. There's only one face that has 6. So the probability of getting a 6 is 1 out of 6. So you really have a poor chance of getting it. So we're going to put that here in unlikely. Okay. The other one is winning the national lottery jackpot. Okay. What is the chance of that? It's very difficult to win the lottery. So it's not impossible. You have a chance of winning, but it's very difficult. So we're going to put winning the lottery here in unlikely, but between impossible and unlikely, because there's really a very low chance of it happening. Okay, so I hope with all these examples that you are clear on how to describe the probability. At the moment, we are not putting values, although when I was explaining it to you, I was trying to put values in for your probability. Okay, so but the important thing in this lesson is that you are knowing and you are learning the the language of probability. So that means the vocabulary. So our words and vocabulary on this video are event, impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, and certain. It's also best if you remember poor chance and good chance. Okay, so let's check your understanding. I would like you to answer and describe all the events given to you here on this slide, and then write it in your notebook, and we are going to correct them, okay, or check them. Thank you, and I'll see you. Bye, grade 7.